It's Wendy Hernandez, attorney and creator of Command the Courtroom. In this week's video, I want to talk with you about a question that I got from one of the Command the Courtroom viewers. So let me bring it up on my screen and read it to you. So the question is, hi Wendy, can you do a video on why a GAL would favor the non-parent who is not the biological parent of the child when trying to determine what's in the best interests of the child? So before I delve into answering this question, let me explain what GAL stands for. In legal speak, GAL means Guardian Ad Litem. And a Guardian Ad Litem is an individual, usually an attorney, who is appointed by the court to represent the interests of the child. And oftentimes, GAL is given special powers by the court where they can investigate allegations that are being made or where they can observe interaction between the child and the involved parties. The GAL may be able to talk with the child if the child is old enough to express his or her wishes. So there are a lot of functions that this GAL can perform. And the GAL then can provide a report or an update to the court and provide recommendations about what he or she thinks is in the best interest of the child. So in this case, the viewer is asking, why is it that a GAL may recommend that a non-parent be the one to have parenting time or custody of the child, or maybe favor the non-parent? And while I don't know the laws of all 50 states, I only know the laws in Arizona. I can tell you that the best interest factors apply throughout all 50 states and through many countries in the world. So if a GAL is making a recommendation that doesn't favor the biological parent, my guess is the GAL has observed something about the parent that gives him or her cause for concern. And the observation may be that somehow the parent is neglecting the child or is abusing the child, or maybe is a drug abuser or has domestic violence issues or anger management problem. There are a lot of reasons why a GAL might make a recommendation that favors a non-parent. Having said that, courts want to favor the parent. They want to give custody and they want to give parenting time to the biological parent of a child above other third parties. And often it's a high burden for a non-parent to show that that non-parent should get custody or should get the child most of the time. So I would suspect that any observations or recommendations that the GAL is making are pretty serious. I will say, however, there have been cases that I've been involved in where the GAL is just plain wrong. Maybe they haven't devoted enough time to the case or investigated enough or talked to the parent as much as they should have. Oftentimes GALs are overburdened because they have so many cases and they just don't devote the energy that they need to get to the bottom of what's in the best interest of the children. So while the GAL's recommendation does carry weight, there are ways to combat the recommendations of the GAL. Just because a GAL is saying something should be doesn't mean that the court is going to order it to be. I've had several cases where there have been recommendations that don't favor my client, and we've been able to unravel those by picking apart the GAL's opinion or report. So whatever side you're on, just make sure that your GAL is aware of all of the things that he or she should be looking at, of all of the circumstances that exist. If you're the parent who the GAL is making recommendations against, but you've taken steps to improve the things that the GAL has an issue with, let the GAL know. If you've taken classes, show certificates that you've graduated from the classes. If you've gone to rehab, for example, provide evidence that you've gone to rehab. Show the GAL what you're doing that would convince him or her that you are taking your role as a parent seriously. But don't lose hope. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching. If you like this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you know somebody who might benefit from any of these videos, feel free to share it with them. Share on social media. If you have a question that you'd like me to address in one of the videos, send me the question. But until next week, remember to command the courtroom.